It might be hot outside, but it's cold in here. It's been 3 whole weeks since the last delayed input, and a lot has happened. We had Summer Game Fest, a state of play, the Xbox Showcase, in which they announced their first ever handheld device, and then after that, their first ever VR headset, and then after that, confirmed the existence of the next generation of Xbox consoles, which was honestly not riveting stuff. Maybe we'll get into it on a slow week. The Switch 2 is come and gone. It went from anticipated console to fastest selling ever to now where, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I feel like it's just kind of like cooling off, waiting for Donkey Kong Bonanza. There was a new Splatoon game announced, and they used that new Nintendo Lifestyle app I keep making fun of to do it. Of course, who could forget Borderlands Fan Fest?
I'm here to tell you, Kairos is not a myth. The legends are true.
And, most significantly, obviously, 2 new trailers for Digimon Storytime Stranger.
Looks cozy.
So yeah, a lot has happened. But to start all of this, I would like to go all the way back to Summer Game Fest. And I want to talk about this sort of meta story that happened throughout and before it. Because leading into that week, there were escalating rumors that Resident Evil 9 would be revealed. So if you're tuning in to Summer Game Fest, if you're checking in for the whole 2 hours, pretty good chance you'll get to see Resident Evil 9. You know, you're at least prepared for it. So then there's this moment where creator of the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley, teases a special announcement from Maggie Robertson.
TGA winner in 2021 for her performance in Resident Evil Village.
And it's a sale. It's savings. But that's okay. That was fairly early in the show, right? There's still time. Later on in the show, here we go. You get a bizarre self-celebration of Resident Evil's 30th anniversary. They're really patting themselves on the back here. And after that concludes, Jeff says this.
We cannot wait for when the time is right to share more leading into the anniversary of Resident Evil.
Oh, okay. So, was that the reveal? Was that the thing that got leaked? Is that it? Anyone would wonder? Obviously, we know now. At the end of the show, the one more thing was indeed the reveal trailer for Resident Evil 9, Requiem. But there's 2 things in particular I'd like to draw your attention to. Firstly, this one part of how Jeff introduced the trailer.
And while there are many places, really any place, this game could have been revealed, we are so deeply honored that we get to share it with the world right here at Summer Game Fest.
So Jeff Keighley in that moment is communicating to the entire audience that in the world of video game showcases, big reveal trailers are a hot commodity, something to be grateful for. And then there's this moment after the trailer, someone in the audience emphatically shouted, "Thank you, Jeff." To which he responded,
"Thank you, Capcom. That was an amazing announcement."
So it was a correction, really. Don't thank me. No, it was, thank you, Capcom. And a deserved thank you. I want to be considerate. I don't want to be disrespectful to the dozens of other games featured throughout the show. But Summer Game Fest was carried by Resident Evil 9. And just to be clear, triple clear, I'm not saying it was the only good trailer. Everything else was stinky. No. I just mean carried in the sense of like when you're playing Night Rain and you've done your best, but you're dead. And you're just sitting there helplessly watching someone who is really good handling the boss on their own. But then here's the thing. You all win anyway. You all win. I contributed. But if we're being honest here, I was carried. Hence, thank you, Capcom. And yeah, there were plenty of trailers that showed lots of promise. They were very interesting. But the RE9 reveal was the thing that took Summer Game Fest into event status. It was the thing that made watching that whole show worth it. Keighley's showing up in Variety with his record viewership? I'd be sending a Big old bouquet to Capcom. It's like, sure, it's a team effort. Hundreds of people involved. Absolutely, absolutely. But thank you, Capcom. And that extends beyond Summer Game Fest. A single video game trailer carrying a showcase is not just an SGF thing. Like, I would never say that the State of Play from PlayStation was the best show of the season if it didn't have Tokone and Digimon Storytime Stranger. Do this for a second. Try to imagine how potentially humdrum the Xbox showcase would have been if that didn't lead up to the shocking epic CG reveal of Black Ops 7. Nobody saw that coming. And then, consider, if that first ever Switch 2 Direct did not end with Donkey Kong Bonanza, if for some reason there was a timeline where they just showed Kirby Air Riders and then waved goodbye, truly I think this. I think it would have sold 3.4 million units in 4 days. Donkey Kong builds trust. Cutting now to present day, Capcom this week was able to put on a showcase all to themselves, another Capcom Spotlight. Fun thing about showcases of this ilk is they don't come with that big show pressure. It's like a popular band you like playing in a coffee shop. What band do you like? Coheed and Cambria? Alright. So imagine if Coheed and Cambria was playing in a coffee shop. It's like that. It doesn't have to end big. It doesn't have to blow your socks off because they presume you're already a fan. Like, for example, I really love this moment where the Monster Hunter developers are ignoring their cue cards for a second and just naturally geeking out about how cool this one monster looks underwater. It's just refreshing to hear a video game director say he likes a monster because it's cool. A year-old game like Kunitsugami here might get relegated to the montage of a Nintendo Direct, but in a Capcom Spotlight, it gets to solo for 3 whole minutes. I like that. And I like the Resident Evil 9 developers here using this opportunity to flat out tell the audience that Leon is not a playable character. But you know what's sickening? They could probably repeat that day after day, every day leading up to the launch of that game, and you'll still have doubts. Because at this point, we know they're tricksters. And I like that they have the space here to finally show off how Pragmata works. Because it is kind of weird. Apparently you kind of solve puzzles and shoot robots at the same time. Just kind of a stressful multitasking. Like that one scene in Swordfish. But anyway, you don't really see this stuff in the trailer outside of the confines of a 2.5-minute showpiece. They're finally able to explain what this game really is played like. Thank you, Capcom. And then there was one part that stood out to me a little bit.
Introducing Capcom's newest IP. Pragmata.
IP is business talk. I feel like your general audience isn't going to use that word. And also, Exoprimal was 2 years ago. Kunitsugami was last year. So it's not even like a new IP is that rare for Capcom, but I feel like the word is used. I feel like it's emphasized to give you the impression this is going to be one of the big ones. It's going to be one of the big boys. Pragmata. Remember the name. But as an IP, as in t-shirts and film rights and eventual Lego sets, I don't know. I think you're going to need more than Hugh and Diana to make this thing fly. All right, and fairly hot off the presses, also this week, Arc System Works had their own showcase called Arc System Works Showcase. Hard to find the right words for this. Condescending, I would almost say. Like they think you're stupid for watching.
But Mr. Oka, there are still many big features, right?
That's right.
Here's the thing, like it makes sense to be a Capcom fan because I do feel like their games kind of share some connective quality to it. There is a Capcom vibe, if you will. Arc System Works, as a publisher, is all over the place, but there was some refreshing adult honesty right there at the end of the show. Chief Creative Officer Daisuke Ishiwatari says, I'm about to show you a trailer for a game that is not that impressive. He's talking about a mid-range game. Quote him on that. He says mid-range.
You might be wondering why I specifically use the term mid-range. There are many reasons.
But the reason he states that they're trying to make mid-range games is that producing new IP is insanely risky.
In recent years, with AAA blockbusters and excellent indie titles gaining popularity, it has become extremely risky for companies to create new series.
Okay, so with all that said, with all that understood, here's Damon and Baby. You're looking at it, it's not bad. It's just not, immediately special. Probably wouldn't make you sit up on the edge of your seat at the end of a regular showcase. Probably wouldn't stand out that way, So even though I personally don't think that Pragmata or Kunitsugami or Exoprimal, I'm not thinking that any of those will truly become that top tier Capcom status any day. It's still nice to know that the company is willing to invest in these things that are above mid-range just to see if they might turn out. Thank you, Capcom. And also, just in that showcase, they've got RE9, Onimusha, Swimsuits and Street Fighter, and Monster Hunter. Just kind of seems like they're just in this otherworldly, spectacularly good place right now. So good, in fact, that I feel like at any moment now they could probably start working on a new Mega Man Legends game. Probably any minute now they're going to boot that up. Anyway, that's delayed input. I'll be back next week. Until then, thanks for watching. So I did an unusual thing in this video, in that I believe for the first time ever, I said something nice about Kunitsugami. And here's the thing. I'm never going to play that game. And if you're wondering, what's the deal with that? Here's Capcom going out on a limb, trying a brand new thing. This is a classic experimental Capcom game. Why aren't you giving it a shot? It's simply that the little dudes don't have eyes. And look, I know that's just like a me thing. I have the same problem with a lot of Expedition 33 NPCs. Where are the eyes? To be crystal clear, I'm not saying this is a valid criticism. I'm not saying Kunitsugami is bad, because everyone but the maiden wears a mask. But, game design tip straight from me. If you want people generally to care about your little dudes, give them eyes. Here's something I truly believe. I believe that Pikmin would have never taken off if the little dudes didn't have eyes. Look at this. You know what this tells me? You can have Pikmin without noses or mouths or ears, but they're gonna need eyes. All of them. Look at them. They all have eyes. And I'm not sure, but I think the freaky little hands might also be essential to their success. That's gonna require further research. How about Zumbinis? Yep, they all got eyes. The little dudes in Tinykin? Yeah, they're all eyed. Look, man, even Hotel Transylvania 3 recognizes the value of eyes on your little dudes. What I'm getting at is, this is pretty good art. It's great art, actually. It's great art. But this game is one that I would play.